Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. Excuse me if my mouth is, or my voice is not as good as normal, but this is the breakdown video for Inoue and Donaire 2 as they collide Saturday, or not Saturday, I'm sorry. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday, June 7th. Actually, Saturday. Yeah, it's actually going to be Tuesday, June 7th. ESPN has picked up the fight. It is a unification bout in the 118-pound bantamweight division. This is a huge rematch right here between those two. I mean, if you guys missed the first fight, you really need to go check it out. I believe it was 2019. They fought in the World Boxing Super Series finals, and it ended up being a Fight of the Year candidate. I mean, they really went at it. Inoue walked away with a unanimous decision, but Donaire really showed himself, and now the fight, the rematch, is potentially even bigger because Donaire doesn't look like a fluke coming into this one. Donaire, you know, he's a Hall of Fame fighter. I mean, this guy won titles, you know, at 118, 122, 126, actually even 115 in his career. But when he came back down in weight to 118, he was not taken seriously as, you know, as a serious contender. You know, so a lot of the guys there, most people felt he was going to beat. And in the World Boxing Super Series, you know, that's what happened, is he kind of lucked his way into the finals. One guy got hurt, the next guy bailed out because of injury, so he ended up getting a tune-up. And that got him into the final, and then he shocked everybody in the final the way he fought the monster Inoue. And, you know, and since both fighters have won their fights and hold 3 of the 4 belts at 118 now. So this rematch is overdue, but I'm glad we waited for a rematch, because these guys are still sitting right at the top of 118, and really the first fight was truly great, and now we get to see the rematch between the two, which I think is going to be fantastic. I think it has a potential of being another Fight of the Year candidate, and I really cannot wait to see what these two guys do in the second time around. You know, it's going to be very, very interesting, and you guys really shouldn't miss this. Again, it's on a Tuesday. It's on ESPN, probably in the morning from Japan, and make sure to check it out. So like normal in a breakdown video, we talk about both fighters. We start with the favorite and then go to the underdog, our champion, and challenger. Well, in this case, since both are champions, the favorite though is still the monster Inoue, so we're going to talk about him first, then we move into the challenger. We discuss what they've done coming into the fight, you know, if they can win, or what style they need to have to win, if they can win by knockout, if they can win by decision, you know, the 4 or 5 big questions, and then is it bigger for boxing if one or the other wins, and then the final, the prediction. So let's start with the monster, Inoue, the WBA and the IBF world champion at 118 right now. So Inoue, since the win over Donaire, has been, you know, has won 3 straight fights by knockout. You know, he's done well. He's you know, collected the belts, and you know, he's won three convincing knockouts, and you know, really just he's rolling still, and he's still as good as we thought he was. He's 22-0. He's still a knockout machine, and he's coming to this one. I believe Inoue might have been overlooking Donaire heading into the first fight, and I think that might have been what surprised him. But I think Inoue is rolling into this one supremely confident that he can win this fight and win it impressively, and I think he's coming to get Donaire. That's his goal. I think he's going to try to break down Donaire, and that's the style that we get into. What kind of style does he need to have to win this fight? And I think the one glaring thing is Donaire's age. It's a 10-year age difference. Inoue is 29, Donaire is 39. He wants to take Donaire into the deep waters, and Donaire, since their fight in 2019, So it's close to about 2.5 years. Been over 2.5 years. Nonito has only fought 2 4-round fights and won by knockout both times. So he hasn't been into the deep waters. He's an older fighter, and I think Inoue needs to invest into the body. I think he needs a jab, hook to the body, and set up a knockout late in the fight. You know, that's what he needs to focus on and go for. You know, Inoue has had 2 fights that have gone past 6 rounds. He's won 1 fight by knockout in the 7th, 1 by stoppage in the 8th. So, and plus he's had 3 fights. So since their showdown that went 12 rounds, Donaire's only fought a total of about 7 to 8 rounds, and Inoue has fought a total of about 18 to 19 rounds, probably close to 19 rounds of boxing. So he's been the more active, he's the younger fighter, and now I think he needs to try to take advantage of that and go after him and work the body. I think that's what he needs to do. But he also needs to watch the left hook by Donaire. It's one of the best left hooks I've ever seen. It's still very dangerous, and he still can hurt people with it. So I definitely think he does not need to try to run over Donaire. He needs to break him down to stop him, and that's his best chance. Now, can he win by knockout? I believe he can. I believe he can break Nonito down. I think he can hurt him early. I wouldn't be surprised if a knockout were to happen early for him, but I absolutely feel he can win a fight by knockout. Can he win a decision? He's already won a decision over Nonito. He's the younger fighter. He's probably, you know, you could argue he's the stronger fighter. I think they're about evenly matched in power, but I definitely think he can win a decision. He already has. It's definitely possible. Now, what does a win for Inoue mean over Donaire? It means everything. It's going to mark probably the biggest win or second biggest win of his career. But if he can knock Donaire out, the way Donaire is found the fountain of youth, if he can knock him out in this rematch and leave no doubt he's the better man, then he's really on that, like, Hall of Fame level already. He's already done so much in his career, and he just keeps moving forward. He can maybe try to go for undisputed at 118, and then maybe next year move up to 122 and try to take over, and then that would be exciting. But the monster has really stormed through, and I think he needs to get this win and check it off and leave no doubt with Nonito Donaire, and it means a lot to his career for him to do that. Now, what does a loss mean for Inoue? A loss is going to be tough, but given the fact that Donaire fought him so tough the first time around, also Donaire is a Hall of Famer, and Donaire really has power and has been impressive since that fight. I don't think a lot of people would be surprised, but in order for Inoue to get to that next level, that Hall of Fame status, he needs this win. So a loss is really going to be tough. It's going to be the first of his career. Depending on how he loses, though, it could set up a third fight, a rubber match. But I think if he wants to stay on that pound-for-pound top-tier status, he needs to get this win here. So it's big. Now we move over to the Filipino Flash, the 4-division world champion, Nonito Donaire, one of my favorite fighters. Donaire coming into this fight, since the fight in 2019, he took almost 2 years off before he returned in 2021, last year in May, and he's knocked out 2 younger undefeated fighters and become the WBC champion in the process. So Nonito Donaire is hot right now. He's coming in fully confident, 2 brutal 4th-round knockout wins. He's been beating up younger fighters. He looks like his old self. 118 was always his best weight, and now he just looks supremely confident to come out and get this win. And I think, hey, he might be able to do it. He's the taller fighter by 2 inches, and he has a 1-inch reach advantage. So what kind of style does he need to have to win this fight? I think he needs to box and set up his left hook. I think if Nonito Donaire is throwing his jab and setting it up and using his height advantage, I think he's got a good chance. But he's got a jab to he's also got a hook to the body to set up the hook to the head. Throw his right hand as a feint and return with that left hook. That left hook, if he can land that punch crisp, he can win this fight. He really has nothing to lose at this point. He's already achieved so much more than expected, especially at this age, to come in against a pound-for-pound guy in the monster and fight him way different than anybody else ever did. So to roll into this rematch, supremely confident, trying to unify belts, he's been there, he's done that, he's confident. I think he's got the right kind of mentality, and that's what he needs. Now, can he knock out Inoue? I think he can. He hurt him a couple times in the first fight. I think a Nonito Donaire left hook is one of the most dangerous punches in boxing, and it absolutely could rock Inoue if he doesn't see it coming and can hurt him and put him down. So yeah, I think Donaire can win by knockout. Can Donaire win a decision? I think it's going to be tough, but I think he can. But Donaire's going to have to box in order to win a decision. Inoue is the naturally more active fighter in a round. He's younger, and I think he's going to come and try to win rounds and get him backed up. But Donaire has a good jab if he throws it, and he's got a great left hook. And I think if he uses his height and his reach, he might be able to win a hard decision. So I think it's possible. What does a win mean for Nonito Donaire? It really puts him in that big-time Hall of Fame class, legendary status if he can knock out a pound-for-pound guy at 39 years old or beat a 39-year-old. I mean, at 39, beat a pound-for-pound guy like Inoue. If he can pull this off, it's huge for his career. And it also allows him to hold 3 of the 4 belts in the division, maybe a shot at undisputed, you know, and then he could retire. Like, oh my God, what a story that is, to retire to beat Inoue, possibly set up a 3rd fight. I mean, that is just huge at his age, and with all his credentials already, he's already a Hall of Famer. A win would just be monstrous. It would make his name one of the all-time greats for sure. A loss. What does a loss mean for Donaire? You know, a loss would be tough, but you know, probably would end his career depending on how he loses. But here's the kicker. I don't think a lot of people are expecting him to win this fight. So I really think he's rolling in with the mentality of, I got nothing to lose. So if he goes into it like that, it really makes him a more dangerous fighter, in my opinion. So yeah, a loss sucks for anybody, but I don't think, you know, going into this one, I don't think a lot of people are expecting him to win. So I think he's not really tripping on it, and I don't think it would affect him or his career really all that much if he lost this fight. So that's kind of a good position to be in for him. Now, is it better for boxing if Inoue or if Nonito Donaire win this fight? And you can really look at it from both directions. You could say Inoue's a pound-for-pound guy. He's exciting, he's fun to watch, and he's still only 29 years old. We still want to see him fight. He's undefeated and go after bigger achievements, and I agree. But from Donaire's status, because he's such a fun, fan-friendly fighter for so many years, he's a Hall of Famer, and he's 39, to win this fight, I think it's good for boxing because it potentially sets up a 3rd fight between these two, and the first fight was great. And then, you know, it really puts a stamp on an already Hall of Fame career, so I don't really think it's bad for boxing at all if Donaire wins this fight. So, is it better for Inoue or Donaire? It's probably better for Inoue, in my opinion, but I really think it's close to 50-50 because Donaire is such a known name and such a fun guy to watch, and he's given us so many memories and great moments over the years that I think a win would really be big, and it would be big for boxing, and it'd be good for boxing too. So I don't think it'd be a bad thing at all if Nonito Donaire pulled off the upset here and won the fight. Not at all. Now, the last question. What is my prediction? Who do I think is going to win the fight between Nonito Donaire and Inoue? And I'm going with Inoue in the rematch. I think Inoue, I really do believe that he was overlooking Donaire, and he had every right to, even though I don't agree with overlooking an opponent, but it just naturally happens sometimes. You know, and I think he was overlooking him in the first fight, and I think he's going to correct that mistake in the second fight. I think he's going to break down Donaire's body, and I honestly see him stopping Nonito Donaire in the second half of the fight. Now, I do believe that Donaire has a very good puncher's chance, and he's a very live underdog, especially with the way he's fought and his experience. But I just think Inoue is going to be too much. I think he's in his prime, and I think he's ready for this fight, and I think he's going to go go get it. So it should be a good one. Tuesday, June 7th, Inoue versus Donaire unification bout at Bantamweight. Big time rematch right here. Make sure you check it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave me a comment, and or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. And this is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.